Well, so I would like now to share a little bit from our initiative from our region, the Mesoamerican Reef, where we use collaborative science in order to improve ecosystem and communities' health, as our name says, healthy reefs for healthy people. So a very quick introduction to our region. I'd like to highlight that the Mesoamerican Reef is the largest transboundary reef ecosystem in the world, shared by Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras. It has approximately 1,000 kilometers of linear coastline, bordered by mangroves, seagrasses, and coral reefs. We are over 3 million people that depend on its biodiversity and ecosystem services, which are evaluated depending on the studies, but over 5 or 6 billion US dollars per year from tourism, fishing, coastline protection, and etc. The reef, as worldwide, is threatened by climate change and local impacts, and is in our region especially key in helping alleviate poverty. So this is why the 4 countries recognize the value of the Mesoamerican Reef and sign what we call the Tulum Agreements, where they commit to protect its marine resources and promote sustainable development. And hence, different initiatives were born. A lot of marine protected areas were born since that Tulum Agreements also. And we needed funding to fund those conservation initiatives and marine protected areas. So that's how the Mesoamerican Reef Fund was created. And then to apply those newly available funds, we needed to strengthen new leaders in order to develop more impactful conservation initiatives. And this is how the Mesoamerican Reef Leadership Program was born. And so now we have the fund, we have the leaders to implement conservation, but we need to measure the impact of those projects, of those initiatives. And this is how we were born, to measure reef health and the conservation impacts and the application of management measure. So our theory of change at the Healthy Reefs for Healthy People initiative is that using sound scientific data to evaluate the reef conditions using standardized protocols such as Agua, alongside the evaluation of the implementation of management recommendations and using strategic communication with the media, etc., and the broader audience, we can achieve improvement in policies and management that will hopefully positively impact the reef health, and all of that we can continue to measure. So we were born in 2004 with very few partners, and now we have since grown to over 73 partners, mainly from civil society, but also from academia, government agencies, and private sector. And all of them are focused on the conservation of the Mesoamerican reef resources. In order to make the dream work, we need teamwork. And all the work from our field monitoring to the report card design is made possible by the participation and commitment of our partners. So to increase their participation, we need to make sure every voice is heard. And this is why we try our best to be extra communicative and transparent in every step of the shared work, creating spaces to share experiences, but also to celebrate achievement, which is very important. Every field season, we have run week-long monitoring training courses for the field biologists at our partners organization to refine their skill or to learn more skill, building on the rich training materials developed by Agua, so we don't need to reinvent the wheel. So where there is a platform and an effort already existing, build on it whenever it's possible. So far, we have trained more than 350 people to be surveyors, reef surveyors, and 16 trainers. So they are able to replicate those impacts in their communities and their organization, strengthening local capacities to be able to produce even more sound science. In our 2006 guide, we described 58 indicators of reef health and social well-being. But to simplify and to include more partners' data and reach a broader audience, we combined these 4 that are here into the Reef Health Index. So the coral cover, the fleshy macroalgae cover, the herbivorous fish biomass, so the parrotfish and the sturgeon, the ones that eat the fleshy macroalgae and alleviate a bit on the reef, and commercial fish biomass, the ones that are important for local fisheries and local economies, the groupers and the snappers mainly. So each is graded on a 1 to 5 scale according to the thresholds you can see on the screen, and we decided to put a color coded for easier visualization. Over the first decade of our monitoring, the Reef Health Index has increased, but for the past 5 years, it has decreased and is now back to the poor same grade of 2.3 out of 5, as it was 15 years ago. And 15 years ago, it was just after a heavy hurricane season and massive bleaching events. So the reef was in a very poor condition. It began to get better, and now it's again decreasing. Throughout all these years, the indicators that has been consistently in poor state is the fleshy macroalgae cover, and this is the one that is almost directly linked to water pollution and climate change. As I was saying, we broadcast our results in reportcasts that are always available online in our webpage here that you can see. But we also work to reach as wide an audience as possible. So we handle physical copies to decision makers, politicians, managers, private sector, but we also give many community presentations and making the information the more available possible to everybody. We also use a lot of our social media and maintain a close relationship with local, national, and international journalists to get the message to the masses, right? Our report cards are hence very popular with managers, policymakers, stakeholders, and overall public. But we also wanted our scientific partners and overall international collaborators or people interested to have access to the actual data for their own analysis or visualization. So we have on our webpage, we have this tool that can be accessed. And it's also available through our partners, agra.org, who recently launched a new dashboard incorporating our indicators and threshold values to also aid interpretation. The actual database, it can't be available online right now. The button is broken, but you can send us an email. And we can share with you the direct data, but you can also see them online, and you can select different filters. You can select the different indicators, the different region, the different years, etc. It's a very powerful tool. So in almost these 16 years that we have been working in the region, we have been able to host a process that has led to create a common voice and vision between an array of organizations and strengthen capacities and express management recommendations in order to improve the health of the ecosystem and the communities that depend on them. But we don't stop at recommending. So we then follow the management recommendations through an audit-like system. And this is also a collaborative process with all our partners and external consultants, for example. And we have 28 indicators that we follow along the years in those 7 themes that you can see online. And all of this is also available online, so it can be transparently consulted, and you can see the evolution of our countries, of each of the 4 countries' policies along the years. So using these strong networks of very active partners, we look to have greater impact on the public policies to support reef health. This is our main goal. So this is how, for example, we work within the collaborative Water Our Rights campaign, as Anna-Lucia mentioned earlier, to advocate for human right to water and healthy environment. We work with our partners in order to improve water quality standards laws and also wastewater treatment in the region. We also have promoted the region-wide protection of parrotfish as important reef grazers, which is now done thanks to the work, as Maria Jose was saying, to all the partners in the region in all the 4 countries. And we are also implementing local pilot projects to increase herbivory through king crab mariculture and restoration. So we use this common voice based on sound science information and collaboration to try at least to save our reefs and reach justice for the human right to healthy water and ecosystem and the several linked sustainable development goals to be fulfilled. So thank you very much. We hope our case from the Mesoamerican reef can inspire other regions to use science and collaboration for environmental justice. And please consult our webpage and social media for a lot more information. Thank you very much.